To wrap up this chapter on PL SQL, and this is a very brief chapter, to cover PL SQL and do it justice, it would probably have to be an entire 8-hour course. But two final points. I've showed you this before. PL SQL, packages, types, and references. There is lots of built-in functionality in Oracle in all sorts of ways, but in one particular way inside PL SQL. PL SQL provided procedures. They do all sorts of things, anything and anything that you can possibly imagine. A lot of the add-on software, for instance, things to do with replication, would be included in here. Things to do with lobs, things that are kind of partway into the Oracle binaries but not quite in the executable section of Oracle, will be included as external procedures. To go through here and go through all these, if I just scroll through this entire file, we've got in Oracle 11.2 259 packages. In those packages, this is the summary of XML type sub-programs in this particular package. These are all the functions and procedures in there. Stream types, rules management, the list goes on and on. There's a lot of functionality in there. Quite often, if you want to do something in particular, you're going to find something in there. And this stuff is all in addition to the user functionality you find inside the general ANSI standard SQL code and user-defined functions, such as your length function, your toChar function, toDate, so on and so forth. It's different. Don't forget again that this PL SQL language reference is a very large book, and it's separate from the SQL language reference guide, and it's beginning to have information that is in both SQL and PL SQL books. It's beginning to be merged into the PL SQL language reference to a certain extent. They're separating it. The only other points I had to show you here were that you could actually access the metadata inside the various objects that you create, the functions, and so on and so forth, other than going into here and looking at procedures, functions, packages. You can also look at the metadata inside the Oracle database itself. So you've described this user sources. What do we have here? User sources contains the procedures, the triggers, the functions, all in one single view. It's all reading the same data. These are all views. Once this actually completes running, and it says it can't find it, which is very interesting, because I don't have access to it, more than likely. Let's go to here. Select user from dual. Let's describe user sources. Describe user, I may have spelt it incorrectly. There we go, user source. So let's do inside here. This could find select star from. It's going to find everything in my shows user that has any kind of source code. I have lots of triggers, all the stuff I've created during the process of creating this course. Triggers, procedures, packages, things that are basically mine and otherwise as well, things that I've created over time. You see I've got the divide function there. This is actually showing me the source inside the actual stored procedure that I created in an earlier movie. All this does is it shows me procedures or triggers or functions. These views are actually looking at the same underlying metadata, but they're just dividing it up into different pieces. This is very simple. Now that's a sensible way to end this chapter. And that covers PL SQL.